What's up guys, this is Jaden from Team AJJ. Welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be showcasing one of the most dominant decks in Master Duels, Dinosaurs. Shout out to Hasselberry. This deck can end on some crazy end boards featuring cards such as Appaloosa the Bow of the Goddess, Borreload Savage Dragon, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and even cards such as Abyss Dweller. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I'm sorry guys, but I have to say it at least one time. Dino DNA. Alright, let's get at it.
It's time to duel!
Alright, let's get into duel number 1. So our hand is pretty much perfect right now because anytime you have one of the two of the three genetic starters, so the Michelinosaurus, Soul-Eating Oviraptor of the Baby Ceratosaurus, if you have a combination of two of these cards, you could pretty much just do full combo at this point. So we're going to summon the Soul-Eating Oviraptor. He's going to try to meet us with an Ash, and that's why Mish is so good in this deck. It's like having one of the best dinosaur hand traps in the game because it pretty much just says our opponent can't target our dinosaurs with any card effects. So he pretty much just wastes his Ash here so we could just chain the Mish. And that's why you should always wait with a Mish and don't preemptively use it like some people do. Wait until you activate Oviraptor and then use it. So we could banish the Mish, summon our Xor, and of course we could pop the baby, add the double evolution pill to summon a baby. Now we can pop this baby to summon another baby, and of course we're gonna get the Scrap Raptor at this point. So Scrap Raptor ability will allow us to pop himself, so we can add the Chimera to our hand, and we get an extra normal summon for Scrap Monster. So we're gonna summon the Chimera, return another Scrap Raptor, and at this point we're gonna link off into Linkuriboh. Keep in mind you don't actually have to make the Linkuriboh here. It's pretty much just extra double evolution pill food. So if you have the space, you should just actually go into it in case, it ends up in a longer duel. So now we're gonna link off into the Scrap Riven here, returning the Chimera. Now we're gonna pop the Chimera with the ability to return another Scrap Raptor from the deck, which we can now pop the baby and add Giant Rex. And Giant Rex is very, very important in this combo. It's one of the best cards because once you use the double evolution pill, you can of course now remove the Giant Rex, and then his ability triggers, which returns him, and now you can pretty much go into anything you want. In this case, we're going to go into Borreload Savage because we just want to omni-negate, but you can also go into Lagia, for example, depending on how the duel looks or what your opponent is playing. And that's pretty much our end board. So we're going to actually have now an Appaloosa with 3 negates, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno that can flip our opponent's face down, and of course Borreload is pretty much just an omni-negate. And of course, because we had one of the two of the 3 pieces already, we actually took another Mish, so we could actually protect our Ultimate Conductor and our Oviraptor if that's the case. So our opponent's going to activate Allure of Darkness here, and we're actually going to try to stop him. I mean, he's down to 4 cards. We don't want him drawing any extra cards. But unfortunately for us, he actually baited us here because he had another one. So he's going to activate the Allure of Darkness, drawing 2 cards. And now he's going to activate Thunder Dragon Roar. Now that's going to be our first Appaloosa negate. We do have 3 negates with her, so we don't mind negating this. We don't want him special summoning any extra cards for no reason. He's going to activate Chaos Space, so he's going to dump a card and then add a card to his hand. The White Dragon in this case. And then he's going to summon the White Dragon. We're going to let that go. There's no problem. We don't need to flip that down yet. And he's going to link into Striker Dragon. So we're just waiting for him to activate the ability. He doesn't. He summons another monster, and now he goes into another link, and he goes into Vertiplant Anaconda. So we know that for sure is going to be one of our negate. So he's activated Chaos Space ability from the grave, and now he's going to activate Thunder Dragon Dart. So we're actually going to negate this. That's another card we just can't let off, and we know Appaloosa still has one more negate, and we're definitely saving it for the Prediplant Verde Anaconda. So at this point, we're wondering what's in his hand. He still tries to use a Verde. We're of course going to just negate that because that's the most threatening card at this moment on his field. And things are looking pretty good. He's going to set, and of course he's going to run over Appaloosa, but she already did her job. She negated 3 cards. That card is just busted at the right time, and in this case, she was just perfect. So we can do pretty much anything we want here. This duel's pretty much over. So we're going to exceed here. We're just pretty much going to make a negation with Dolka, just in case he has some kind of weird ability face down. And then we could remove 2 cards. And then, of course, we remove the Giant Rex again, which returns him. So we're going to run over the Vertiplant with the Giant Rex because he can't attack directly. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is going to run over his mob. It was just pretty much an Ash, and now we can go in for game. So this is pretty much the basic combo what this deck can do with literally just 2 starters of any type of Mish and, for example, Oviraptor with the baby. It's really busted. All right, let's get into the second duel. So we have a really good hand. We have the Pot of Sperry, we have the Fossil Dig, we have the Scrap Raptor, and of course we have the Baby in our hand. If you have Baby in your hand, you pretty much just need one more piece. So we're going to excavate the top 6 cards of our deck because we're going first, so we're feeling pretty confident here. And we're going to actually choose the Miscellaneousaurus, because Mish and Baby is pretty much full combo, but we also have the Fossil Dig, so we're going to do it the old traditional way. We're going to use Soul Eating Oviraptor, and we're going to toss the Mist to the grave. And this is going to resolve chain 1, chain 2, so that means our dinosaurs can no longer be targeted. And with Oviraptor, we're actually going to add the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to our hand. There's many different things you can add, but we have full combo already, so we're thinking pretty much on the next turn. And having Ultimate Conductor Tyranno in your hand is just really good as a recovery card. It's so busted, it could attack multiple defensive cards. So just make sure, if you already have full combo, that you actually take something that can actually create like an offense on the next turn. So we're going to remove the Mish from grave to get our other baby. He's going to pop the baby, which adds a double evolutional pill to our hand. And then we're going to use the Oviraptor to pop this baby, getting another baby, and using the baby from the grave to get Scrap Raptor to our field. We're going to pop the Scrap Raptor, which allows us to add Scrap Chimera to our hand. And you get an extra normal summon when you pop the Scrap. So we can summon it, returning the other Scrap. This is pretty much the basic combo for dinosaurs. It seems long, it's not that hard, but it can really end on some busted fields. So we're going to link Karibo, and then we're going to link off the Chimera and the Karibo to Scrap Wyvern. And this is what actually makes the deck so good with the Scrap package, because now you can return the Scrap Chimera, you can pop actually any of your Scrap monsters at this point to get a Raptor from deck. You're going to pop the baby, and now we could get Giant Rex, and we could go straight into Appaloosa here. Now, there's different ways you could do this. You can also pop the baby and end on an even more crazy board. But at this point, I'm pretty much experimenting with the deck because I don't want all the duels to feel the same way. So we're trying out some new things. So we're going to use the pill, removing the Giant Rex and another card from our grave to summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This returns Giant Rex, and then you can synchro into Borreload Savage Dragon, for example, here. And we also, of course, on our opponent turn, we have an Oviraptor that we can pop. So we don't even have to pop a card from our hand to activate Ultimate Conductor, or you can choose to keep this or dump the maxi. It depends pretty much on our opponent does. So we have a pretty decent board. We're feeling pretty good at this point, and we're gonna see what our opponent's gonna do. Now, this was the craziest opening I've seen in a long time. I'm like, what is he actually doing? This really feels like GOAT format. He summons Dancing Fairy and activate United We Stand. So I'm gonna just flip this face down because, like, why not? And then our opponent activate Card of Demise. So I'm actually really confused with what it is he's actually trying to do. But we're going to negate this with Borreload because, yeah, why would we let him draw cards? We're in such an advantageous position at this moment. So we're going to stop the Card of Demise just for him to activate another Card of Demise. Like, you got to be kidding me. So now he sets more back row, and now I see what the deck actually is. He has Fossil Dino, so it's some kind of stun deck. So we're definitely planning to punish him for playing a deck like that. So we're going to summon another Scrap, and he's going to activate it. Can only be one. We're definitely negating that. That would actually be devastating right now. And then he activates Just Desert. So it's like a burn stun deck, I guess. But whatever, the Just Desert doesn't bother us at all. We have more than enough life points, so we're going to just focus on that. At this point, we're actually going to exceed summon into Yugioh because Yugioh is pretty much another negate, and our opponent seems to be running a lot of trap card. He can activate Just Desert, but we're going to let that go as well. We still have 3,500 life points to work with, so we don't want to rush it. We know Yugioh is a negate to pretty much anything here. So unless something's actually going to affect us, we don't want to be baited into like negating something off of the Just Desert and then it end up being like a Drowning Mirror Force or Torrential Tribute or some kind of weird card, because it's like a weird gimmicky deck he's playing. So we're going to summon the Ultimate Conductor, and we have so much damage. We know what his face on card is, so we're going to run it over our Giant Rex. And at this point, we can just go in for game. And once again, even if he had a back row, we had Yugioh to negate it. So that's the kind of crazy board the dinosaurs could end with on just 2 turns. So if you actually consider playing the deck, really do, because it's so busted. Alright, let's get into the third duel. And yeah, we're going to be playing second here, which is actually way more fun. It's actually more challenging because, trust me, when you go first with this deck, it's sometimes so busted. Your opponents tend to just give up on turn 1. So it's pretty cool to be able to test out the deck in turn 2. So he's going to exceed here into Starlin. And we see some Tri-Brigade cards and also some Wingbeat. So we're not totally sure what it is he's doing. So he's going to activate Nerval to act Fractal to his hand. Then he could activate the ability of Fractal to toss Kit, activate the ability of Kit, and then he's gonna toss Nerval. So now he's gonna summon Sapphire and Nerval, and we're still not sure what our opponent is doing right now, and then he goes into Seamorg. So we're like, okay, this wasn't what we expected. We actually were expecting Tribe again, so he's gonna go into Rectical Starling, activating his ability, increasing the attack, tossing a card, adding Canary to his hand. So now we're like, okay, what is it that he's doing? This is not a Tri-Brigade deck after all, and he goes into Utopic Future. So now things are actually starting to get scary. This can actually be quite a hard end board to break, but at the moment he has no Omni Negate. So he goes to Utopic Draco Future, activate the ability of Canary to special summon Tail, and of course return another mob from his grave. So he chooses Swallow in this case. And now he goes into Blue Robin, uses its ability to, of course, increase another material to itself. And now this is where things are scary, because we were still like, okay, we still have the Raigeki, he has no Omni Negates, we can still just summon, you know. But then he has the Barrier Statue also. So this isn't looking good if he has a really good hand trap that can stop us in our tracks. So we're going to try to bait him first. So we're going to activate Fossil Dig here. And we're going to add the Oviraptor to our hand. We're going to summon it. And this is, of course, going to be met with a Utopic Draco. We expected that. So we're going to toss Mish. And this is actually what I wanted to show you guys in this duel. Miscellaneous is broken. It's like completely busted. And that's why it's actually, you know, limited in the TCG. But in Master Duel, you can play 3. And that's why Dinosaurs are so busted. This deck went about 20-2, I believe. Or maybe even 25-2. I stopped counting at a certain point. And that's pretty much because you can play 3 Mish. So I'm pretty sure they'll probably add it to a limited list if they decide to actually follow TCG ban list in the future. But in the meantime, if you do play Dinosaurs, just trust me, you're going to win so many of your duels once you have a basic understanding of the deck. So we're going to toss Mitch, which pretty much means he just wasted his Utopic Future ability. We're going to add the baby to our hand. At this point, we feel confident enough that he has no answer for the Raigeki. So we're going to activate the Raigeki. He's going to be able to add the Canary back to his hand, which doesn't matter for us because we plan to finish him off this turn. So we're going to activate Mish ability in the grave to summon our mob, popping our baby. Then we're going to get the double Evil Pill. We're going to add another baby. Now we can pop the baby again to return the baby, and of course special Scrap Raptor. And this is where, once again, guy, Mish is so busted. Our opponent's going to Nibura us. The problem is, once you activate the ability of Mish and they don't actually negate it, your dinosaurs can't be rude. So pretty much he just wiped his board for us, and our opponent's going to realize what he did just now and just surrender. The thing is, guys, the duel was over either way. We have the double evolution pill, so we could have simply just flip the Utopic Draco Future face down, run over it, and just go in for game with the crazy M boards this deck can end on. We just want to show you guys actually the power of Mish in this duel, and Mish just means you win. Usually when that card resolves, it's over. Alright, let's get into the fourth and final duel. Now, we showed you guys earlier the kind of crazy boards this deck can end on. The thing is, if you have Lost World, a baby in your hand, and Mish or either Oviraptor, which we can easily search with Fossil Deck, this deck can end on crazy boards. And I'll show you one of the craziest boards this deck can end on. So we're going to activate Lost World, activate Fossil Deck, we're going to add Oviraptor to our hand. So we're going to summon it, and Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. We're going to be able to give him a token, and that token is really good, guys, because not only does it stop your opponent from being able to target your dinosaur monsters, but you have to remember, if they have a monster on their field, which they technically do, a face-up card, they can't Lightning Storm and stuff like that anymore. So besides the fact that you end with crazy end boards, it also stops them from being able to activate cards like that, which is actually just busted. So we're going to toss the Mish, pop the baby, add another double evolution pill to our hand. Our baby's gonna trigger, bring back a baby. Now we can pop that baby with an Oviraptor. Make sure you choose the baby on the right here, guys, so you choose the right baby. So we're gonna have pop the Scrap Raptor, and Scrap Raptor is gonna add a Chimera to our hand. We could summon the Chimera, then returning the Scrap. And now we can link off into Link Karibo. The reason we do this is just extra food for the double evolution pill, but you don't actually have to go into Link Karibo at this point for this combo. So we're going to link the Link Karibo together with the Chimera into Scrap Wyvern. So we're going to activate the ability of Scrap Wyvern, which will then bring back the Chimera. And then you can pop any of your Scrap mobs at this point. We pop the Raptor. And now this is where the combo becomes different. The second time you bring back a Scrap monster with the wafer, when you use his ability, you can pop any card on the field, including your opponent's. So this time you pop the egg. And when you pop the egg, you can actually protect it with the Lost World, which allows you to just pop a monster from your deck. So you can destroy a monster from your deck. So we're gonna destroy the baby from our deck, add in a Giant Rex, and now we can just go into Appaloosa pretty much here. This is just so disgusting. Trust me, the combo is just busted. Your opponent's not really getting over this. And right now, we can then, of course, Synchro Summon into Warlord Savage, like you saw. Just an Omni Negate, which is so good. And at this point, you can activate his ability to return your link. Now, we're going to activate the Double Evolution Pill. And of course, because you got rid of the Giant Rex, when you banish him, he comes back. So because we have the Giant Rex and he comes back, now we actually have 2 level 4s again, which means you could go into so many different stuff. And of course, you can also go into Lagia here. Lagia will also be really, really good because then you have 2 Omni Negates. But in this point, we just decided to do something a little bit different. And we're going to go into Abyss Dweller. And we're like, okay, come at us. What can our opponent do in this duel? And unbelievable, he has the Forbidden Droplet. But this is why the deck is so crazy. It's like, even with all of this, how does he actually break this board? Because he has to get rid of so many of his cards. But it's unbelievable that he actually got rid of a Magic, Trap, and Monster. So we actually can't respawn in the least bit. So now we're just waiting to see what our opponent's going to do. So he summons Portland Dragon Maid, and he's going to activate Kitchen Dragon Maid. So we activate our Abyss Dweller here. We know that we can't. We know it's negated, so it's not a misplay. We just want to get the Giant Rex, because we're pretty much thinking about next turn. How can we beat him next turn? We make sure that we want, in case he does something crazy, for the Giant Rex to, of course, be in our grave, so we can remove it with the Double Evolution Pill. That would bring out our Pankatop, because we do actually have the other one in our hand, the other Conductor, and we only play 2. And then we actually can create an offense. So here he's go into his monster, the Tinket, and he's going to run over Warlord, but at this point, our opponent's going to realize he just doesn't have the ammunition to deal with his horror board. He's going to be passing back to us. Conductor can attack all 3 of his defense position mobs at the same time, or 1 by 1. And yeah, like I said, even if your opponent droplets this deck, and they get rid of 4 cards, unless they're playing something crazy like Phantom Knight that actually loves playing only from the grave, yeah, they're just not getting rid of this board. Alright, let me show you guys the deck list. Alright guys, this is the deck list. We're playing 2 Archosaurs. You just need 2. When you can play 3 Mish, there's literally no reason to play more than 2. 3 Baby Ceratosaurus, of course, one of the MVPs of the deck. 3 Maxi, because your opponent goes first. You know, you actually need your resources. You want to try to get like your Fossil Digs and stuff, cards that you can play multiple per turn. And of course, it would really help when you get like Hall of the Graves and stuff like that. 2 Ash Blossoms, it's more than enough. Giant Rex, such a busted card. It's a normal card, but it's so good in this deck. We're playing just 1 Scrap Chimera. Of course, 3 Mish, that's what we were talking about. This card is literally the MVP of the deck, so busted. Of course, 2 Soul Eating Oviraptors is limited to 2, so we can only play 2. We actually are playing 3 Scrap Raptors, and we're not playing any Golems. I think this is just less bricky. Some people play 2. We played 3 and no Golem, because you can actually go almost full combo also with like a Scrap Raptor and a Lost World. I'm definitely going to show you guys that combo in the upcoming duels. Unfortunately, we didn't actually have a duel when we did it, because the one time we actually could do it, they actually activated Gamma. We won the duel, but I wanted to show you guys a combo. That's definitely going to come in the next video. Yeah, Pankotrops, like I mentioned, you guys didn't see him, but this card is really, really good. It also works really good with Lost World to go off in combos as well. And of course, it's just a quick effect pop. 2 Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This is one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh cards ever created. And man, it's such a beautiful card to look at also. I love this card so much. 1 Raigeki. This can also be a Harpy Feather Duster, depending on if you like to go second or third, but I would change the deck a little bit if you actually try to go second. But the deck does play really well going second because of cards like Mish. 1 Terraforming, 2 Double Evolution Pill, 3 Fossil Dig, such a broken card. The fact that you can actually activate it multiple times per turn is so good. 3 Pot of Prosperity, 3 Lost World, 1 Call at the Grave. I have considered playing 2 of these, just wouldn't know what I would cut at the moment, but it does come up where I could play 2, maybe drop one of the Infinite and Permanent, but Infinite is also really good. I actually beat someone by just maxing an Infinite their board, stopping a Drytron player from going off, so it actually is pretty good. These two cards I advise you not to really play. I just added some level 8 just in case, like let's say our opponent get really low and we can just do some little extra damage if we just need to do some chip damage. And this was actually just for fun. We almost always get rid of this with a prosperity. It's just the two cards that I actually do want to play, which would probably be another Dolka and I don't know, maybe a side frame or something. I don't have them right now when they're ultra rare, so we're just playing these two for now. These are actually very good. So we have the one Borload, like you guys saw, such a busted card. Lagia, of course, Omni Negate, such a good card. They would either run maybe 2 Lagias or 2 Dolka, depending on your playstyle. Abyss Dweller could literally just win you games against Phantom Knight players. Zeus doesn't come up much, but who knows? You can always sometimes, you know, like attack with the Dweller or something going to Zeus, or you can maybe add some more Exceeds here if you rather instead of Synchros. Link Karibo is just extra food for double evolution pale and stuff like that. Nightmare Cerebus, same thing, and this is just of course to pop back card because you never know if you run into like a weird deck that has like stall mechanics, so you just need to get rid of some magic and trap. Nightmare Phoenix is always just really good. Scrap Wyvern, IP Masquerena, Unicorn, Borla Sword Dragon. This is when we go second instead of going to the Appaloosa. You could almost do the exact same combo what I showed you guys, but then you could go into Borload instead of Appaloosa. And of course, Appaloosa, Bow of the God. She is just one of the best Yu-Gi-Oh cards ever created, and you can make her so strong in this deck. You can actually make her 4 negates. We tend to make her 3 because I rather have then some Omni negates on the field as well, instead of just making a very big Appaloosa and then she gets droplet or whatever, and then you're just like, oh no, what do we do now? So this is pretty much the deck list, guys. It's really, really, really good in this format, Dinosaurs. So until they actually like go down to 1 mish or something, or maybe 2, the deck's gonna be busted. Alright guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We're definitely going to be dropping more videos like this, and we want to keep you guys up to date on them. Also, if you're a TCG player, we're going to start doing giveaways and maybe some box openings, so maybe check that out. Hit the subscribe, and of course we're still a small channel, so this will definitely increases your chance of winning the giveaways. My name is Jaden for Team Major J. Thank you for watching.